I failed carnivore, I failed keto, I failed low carb while I was in Thailand. I ate fruit there, I got food poisoning, I had stomach problems, I had bloating, I had some weakness, I had some facial flushing. I had a lot of challenges, but I still had a good trip. I recently went on a trip to Thailand, and I really thought that on that trip I'd be able to eat really healthy, keto, meat-based. It was not possible at all because I'm also gluten-free, and it made it extremely difficult to find options. I found a few, but in the process, it feels like my metabolism shut down. I was stuck in an awful metabolic state of limbo where I'm no longer burning ketones after burning ketones for many years. And I also wasn't able to burn carbs efficiently because my body's not adapted to that. And I ended up having a lot of side effects as a result. I've been really struggling with eating food here, just being gluten-free, number one. Today, everything started out great. I was very productive and I felt really great, like energy, everything was great. I was walking a lot, it was insanely hot out. I did work on the computer, I actually got some things done. It was so great. For breakfast, I ate 3 eggs and about 2.5 pieces of bacon. I'm really like foggy now, like brain fog. And I'm just, barely eating 2 meals a day. Sometimes I'm not even having 2 meals a day. Yet I'm gaining a bloated stomach and some weight gain. And so I've been using AI to help me track things. I've been keeping a detailed log. And like this afternoon, I had things planned out, to be really careful about what I'm eating. And when I am eating the fats, I'm trying not to eat carbs at the same meal as the fat. At this point, my body's confused, and you're not supposed to be in that in-between stage where you're mixing the fats and the carbs and high amounts of carbs. The thing is, I didn't think I was having high amounts of carbs, but the people here put sugar in absolutely everything. That's why everybody loves Thai food. There is sugar in every single meal that you're eating. I can almost guarantee it. I never knew that before this trip. And so today I wanted to, I ate my breakfast. I was craving som tam, which is a really popular meal with unripe papaya as this type of a salad. The street vendors put an insane amount of sugar, like multiple types of sugar. I couldn't believe what I saw today with the amount of sugar out in the streets. I told Jenny to use half the amount of sugar. She has a particular taste that she wants it to have. She wants it to taste good. But there are times where I've had som tam from here and my teeth literally hurt afterwards. Like they're hurting and sore and like rotting probably. But anyway, I think maybe she put the full amount in there. She asked me afterwards, like, how is that amount of sugar? I'm like, oh, it's perfect. Because it tasted amazing, but I thought she used less sugar. But I don't think she did. So the reason I'm saying that is because after I had that meal, I ended up having a hard-boiled egg because I'm trying to blunt the blood sugar effects. And I didn't know there was much sugar in it though, so I thought it was like completely fine. I ate some coconut meat. That's not high sugar. 2 hours after eating that, I was on the bed and I passed out multiple times. I just kept falling asleep. I was trying to watch a video and then I woke up and it was about 1 hour and 45 minutes or so after eating that meal, and I decided to test my ketones and my glucose. My ketones were 0.1. I'm surprised I even had any reading, and the glucose was 164. 164 almost 2 hours after eating. So you can only imagine how high it was, the first hour after eating. It must have been like astronomical for me. Just since having that, I feel hungry again, and I feel like trash, like so tired and so different and so like foggy. And this has been really interesting. I knew that my time here, I would use this as an experiment, but I wanted to use it to become more flexible metabolically, but I thought I was, and I'm really not. And since being here, it's hard to get enough fats. It's hard to eat things that don't have sugar in them. They love putting palm oil in everything, like tons of it. The second I have some palm oil, I get zits. Maybe I'm too first world American for this place. Man, it's tough to eat healthy here. If I had a place where I could have cooked, I would have done so much better than how I did when I was there. I really, really struggled. And my new staple in Thailand became eggs from 7-Eleven. They're hard-boiled eggs. I was living on those things for so long, but I started going a little crazy because you need more than that. And I found some other little snack items like packaged pumpkin seeds that didn't have any added sugar. And eventually I got to a hostel. It was called Jenny's Hostel. And I chose this place because I wanted a different environment, and I just have good memories of actual hostels from back in the day, but I did not want to be bunking in a room with a bunch of strangers. So this place, you had individual rooms and a common area with a kitchen, which was outside of my room. I met such interesting and unique people there, and I also had the pleasure of meeting Jenny, who owns the place. She took really good care of me while I was there, and she accommodated my issues of not being able to have gluten. There are special sauces that they use in Thailand with almost every dish that they make, other than if they're making American type food. And so these are the staples. And in Thailand, if you are gluten-free, just so you know, there is a brand called Mega Chef, and it has much cleaner ingredients, much less chemicals added. It just has minimal ingredients and no gluten in any of their sauces. And it is not common for the Thai people to use these, but I bought them and Jenny used those whenever she was cooking my stuff. And I would always tell her like no sugar, less sugar. I told her I'm basically like pre-diabetic at this point, and the next second she was offering me fruit. So at some point as I was there staying with her, I realized that she also sells, you know, like bacon and eggs in the morning. So I started getting eggs and bacon. So I had one good meal that was basically keto, carnivore, whatever you want to call it. And that really got me through. But she would leave at 2 p.m. every day. So I would have to try to order something before she would leave. But eventually, you guys, I was starving for beef. So I ended up going to some fast food places. I first started out at Burger King, and I used an app on my phone. I used AI to write exactly what I wanted, which was just some plain beef patties, and it was no problem. I ended up getting it. The meat from Burger King wasn't so good. Like, I was really grateful to have it, but it really didn't taste very good, and it was super lean and super dry. And then I ended up ordering some stuff from McDonald's days later. I didn't do this that many times, but near the end of my trip, I started going there here and there. So I went at least a few times, and it really, really helped sustain me the last few days. And it also helped get rid of bloating on my stomach and made me feel better. The McDonald's burgers are delicious there, and I ordered the biggest ones that they have, and I would often take them to go and then eat them later. And the only other outside real like American type of a product I would get that really helped me for a period was I ordered a can of Spam from the store, and it was a lot pricier than here. I think it was like $10. It might have been a couple dollars more, and it was definitely worth it. It was a little bit gross trying to heat it up in the microwave, but I needed food, and it was something that really helped me while I was there. I was also probably having electrolyte issues, and so I would sometimes get coconut or coconut water to drink. I would do much better if I had like a real coconut and I just mostly ate the meat and just drank a little of the water. Here I have the coolest thing ever. This is the inside of a coconut, and I just, you know, put the straw in there and all the liquid is in there. Last time I had this, I've only had it one other time. You know, it was amazing. I'm most interested in just eating this as it is, eating the pulp or the meat, basically. If you are eating there, I did manage to find a couple of low-carb dishes as some healthy options there. Okay, so if you are in Thailand and you are desperate for some food because you are eating gluten-free and you're really struggling, you know, a couple options that come to mind. There are a few options. One of them is a very safe place for me anyway that I've been ordering from, is a popular, well-known northern Isan food restaurant called Tumor. And when you're in a bigger city like Bangkok or in Chiang Mai, you can order and have it delivered to you, which is what I did today. The safe things for me to order are lab, which is a ground pork dish. I didn't get any rice with this, by the way, but most people would eat this with sticky rice. And sometimes, or often, especially from Tumor, they will also include liver and some intestines, and they do a very good job with their high quality food. I've had lab, multiple times, and many times it wasn't very good, except from Tumor. It was excellent. And even eating intestines and the liver, I normally would be afraid to have something like that. It tasted wonderful. And the other option is to get somtam like this, and they gave me a tray for it, thank goodness, so I can pour it in there when I'm ready. And that's another really, really great dish. It's also great if you are vegetarian. Now, the one other thing that is amazing, and it's definitely keto, low carb, and meat based, is the salted grilled whole fish is what I got. One of these days I was wandering around in the scorching hot sun, and I found the shop that had fish that they were grilling, and I looked at it and I saw this white crust around it, and I saw them on the grill, and I asked them, you know, like, what is that? And she told me it's just salt. And I ended up buying a whole fish, and it was amazing. It tasted so good. It's pretty pricey, but it's definitely worth it, and it's not very filling, but it's still worth it. It was so, so delicious, and I highly recommend it. Yeah, I would go for more seafood, and that's the only seafood that I had while I was there, but I probably should have explored more. So when I got home, I went straight back to my meat-based way of eating and started to feel better pretty quickly. It has taken some time for my ketones to go back to what they were. They used to be on average of about like 1.5 to 1.7 range. It's not something I obsess over. I just check it here and there with my ketone meter, which is right here. This is the Keto Mojo. And you can test your ketone levels and your glucose levels on this. I actually highly recommend this if you are having any issues or any challenges, or if you're just highly curious like I am and you want to know what your levels are. I definitely recommend this. I used to have the Keto Sens, and it was totally fine, and I recommended that in the past, but this one is just better because I like doing the ketones and the glucose, and it has a nice app where you can track everything on there. So yes, I failed carnivore, I failed keto, I failed low carb while I was in Thailand. I ate fruit there, I got food poisoning, I had stomach problems, I had bloating, I had some weakness, I had some facial flushing. I had a lot of challenges, but I still had a good trip. And it just goes to show you that it could be a good idea to become metabolically flexible if you're ever going to need to be. For me anyway, some people would completely disagree and feel like their way of eating is fine as it is. I personally wish that I was more metabolically flexible, so it's something I want to look into more. So if you're thinking of traveling while eating low carb, keto, or meat-based, definitely do a lot of research before you go to the country that you're going to go to. Unlike myself, where I had some skewed memories of what it was like there, and I thought that just speaking Thai to some extent would help me get through, would help me get by, and that anything is possible. You know, I did fine while I was there, and I'm really thankful to Jenny, who really helped me so much. Like, she took such great care of me. Even though she likes to cook with a lot of sugar, she really did help me out quite a lot while I was there. She took care of me and made a lot of good food. So this channel is all about figuring things out, as you can see, from health to skincare, biohacking, wellness, and at-home experiments. So if you're like me and you're infinitely curious, I would love it if you would subscribe for more videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.